Today I have two DIY ornaments that will give your tree a classic vintage look. Both ornaments today are going to be candle themed, and for this first one I'm using dowel rods. I've already marked out how long they're supposed to be. They're about 3 inches long, and if you cut all these into pieces it makes enough for 24 ornaments. I've got these dowel rods from Hobby Lobby. They were only about $3.99 for the whole package, and it's going to be another clothespin craft. Before gluing it together with wood glue, I'm going to drill a hole in the top of each dowel rod because this is where the wick is going to go. And as you noticed just a second before, I'm going to be using wood glue to glue them together. Now, for wood glue, they recommend that wood glue be clamped down in some way in order to form a strong bond, but this is quite an awkward shape. So what I did was just hold on to it, scrape off the excess wood glue, and then clamped it to something to let it dry. I usually like to let my wood glue dry for about 24 hours just to make sure it is 100% dry. And then just to be extra careful, I did put a bead of hot glue around the edges because I just was afraid that it would be too easy to pop it off. Now this candle is going to be dripping with wax, and of course I'm going to use my puffy paint to give that illusion of the wax dripping down the candle. So I start from the bottom and work my way up, just doing different lengths of wax, some short, some long. Then I take a paintbrush and smooth out all those little spikes and kind of smooth out the edges where it's a little bumpy, and just to make it look more natural because it was looking a little bit too square around these edges. I wanted to make it look round like the wax truly was dripping over the edges. Now this craft, as you might notice, is not really hard or complicated, but it does take a little bit longer time just due to letting everything dry. The wood glue has to dry, the puffy paint has to dry, so it took me a couple days to finish all of them. Of course, I'm going in with my wonderful washi tape just to make sure that the candle doesn't get any green paint on it. And I chose green for the bottom because I want this part to pretty much blend into a tree. If you've never painted a clothespin before, it is a pretty awkward shape, but not hard to paint at all. And what's great is if you get any paint on the metal part, it scrapes right off, so it's really easy to clean up. I always give all my things that I'm painting at least 2 coats of paint, so after finishing painting it, is now time to start working on decorating the candle. I removed that washi tape and painted everything white. I went over the puffy paint, I went over the candle twice, and just made sure it was a nice white, dark white coat of paint. Now of course you can make the candle whatever color you want by painting the wood first and doing the puffy paint second, but I thought it would just be easier to paint it all white. Then to give it a little bit of a difference, I came in with my sparkle glaze and just put it on the wood part. So the candlestick itself is sparkly, but the wax dripping down is not. I've often wondered, how did people actually decorate with real live candles and the flames without a tree ever catching on fire? I'm sure it happened. I've never had a live Christmas tree, but I hear that they get really dry, so this is a great alternative if you want that vintage look without catching your tree on fire. But to do the wick, I just put a little bit of hot glue in that hole that I drilled down at the beginning and then stuck some metal down in it. It's some pre-cut metal I'd already cut out earlier. And this is going to be the wick of the candle. Now some other fun decorations. There's going to be a little wreath around the bottom. This is going to help cover up where the wood glue might be oozing out or the hot glue is oozing out. It looked a little bit bumpy, so just with some regular Christmas greenery, I took a string of pip berries and wrapped it around to make a really pretty red and white Christmas wreath. I've made miniature wreaths like this before, and it's super easy to do. After you get the berries on there, you just take the 2 ends of the greenery and twist that together. Now depending on how thick it is, it can be hard to bend with your fingers, so I always recommend using pliers of some sort just to clamp it down really well so you don't poke yourself. To attach the wreath, I just put a tiny bit of hot glue at the front and back of the candle on the clothespin and slid it down over the top and pushed on it for a little bit to make it stick. But this wasn't enough for me. I thought it'd be super cute to add a couple little red bows, so I just moved the berries out of the way and glued down the bows with my hot glue. Now, like I said at the beginning, I have 24 of these and only one of them finished. The others are in the process of getting done. I was really hoping to get them all done to show you at the end of the video, but I'll probably just have to take a picture of it and post it to my channel at some point just so you can see all the different ones that I made. I'm making them all the same, but I just think it'll be like a really, really nice presentation when you see all of them together. Now to do the flame, I'm just using felt. Sometimes I will make a template and trace it all out so they're all exactly the same and cut them out, but I just felt like kind of winging it today. I mean, it's a flame, it can't be that hard to cut out. So I just cut out a wiggly piece of orange, and I'm doing it double-sided so that you can see it from either side of the Christmas tree if you want to put it on the right side or the left side. I then also added a little bit of yellow to the center just to make it a little bit more realistic and not just be a solid orange clump up at the top. I hot glued those pieces together and then proceeded to hot glue them to the metal wick up at the top. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, hello, how are you? Thank you for subscribing. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button. That really does help out. It lets YouTube know that you enjoy it and it pushes it out to other people. But this is actually the finished first ornament. I think it turned out so much cuter than I was expecting. It can clamp on your tree either way. It's just a really fun vintage look that you can add to your Christmas tree. For the second ornament, just bear with me, it seems more complicated than it is. You need 4 popsicle sticks, and you actually need 3 tongue depressors. I forgot to get one of them, and then a jumbo tongue depressor. So not a lot of supplies, and I'm going to be making a lantern out of this one. So again, with that candle themed. 2 skinny popsicle sticks for the sides, 2 for an X at the front, and a tongue depressor stick at the top and the bottom. Now the jumbo one is going to be the very top of the lantern where it would hang from something. Now popsicle sticks I have come to love so much because they're incredibly easy to cut. And it's a great way to make something out of wood without needing giant power tools or really thick heavy pieces, and it just looks a little bit more professional than, let's say, paper or plastic. So I really have been using popsicle sticks and tongue depressors a lot more than I ever thought I would. But for this one, I'm just figuring out how I want it to look and how long I want the pieces to be. So just taking a pencil, marking where I'm going to cut them. So this part of the process is just a lot of finagling, moving your parts around, marking where you want to cut them, and figuring out the lengths of everything. This top part is angled slightly to make it look like the top of the lantern, and straight down so it is hidden by that other tongue depressor. After everything is marked, it is now time to cut all of the pieces. I just use large pliers that have a sharp edge, and you can just squeeze it really hard, or you can bend it back and forth. I cut on both sides and they snap off really easily. Now sometimes they will fly across your room and you'll never be able to find the pieces ever again, but most of the time they just land on your table. So just be aware of that. It can kind of take off like a projectile. If you can't get it to cut off just by squeezing, you can always score it with the pliers and then wiggle it back and forth, and it breaks really, really easily. And this is when I realized I needed an extra jumbo tongue depressor to be the candle inside the lantern. So I got that one ready, and then I just gently sanded both sides of each piece to smooth out any of the rough surfaces. Now this is where the project starts to look a little bit like a Frankenstein project. It looks a little weird, but this is just to help everything dry and stay in place. So I'm using my wood glue again, and like the first one, I mentioned things need to be clamped into place. Well, this one was a lot easier to clamp, and you just have to use something small, as simple as a clothespin. Just be careful that you don't accidentally glue the clothespin to your craft. So after it has glued for a while, remove the clothespin so nothing actually sticks together. With the wood glue being wet, this part just again takes a little bit of patience and finagling, and you're going to be clipping every piece together, and ta-da! Here it all is, looking a little funny, but after you remove all the pieces, it looks like a normal lantern. And like the last project, I let it dry for about 24 hours. I started painting, and with most of my projects, I paint the front, the sides, and the back, just to make sure it's nice and neat. Now this is where I kind of went in and made a mistake. This is where I realized I was going to paint this top part a different color, and I'm kind of contemplating my mistakes at this point. But don't worry, after I let it dry, I go back in and I do change the top part to a different color because it was just going to look too black. So the top and bottom part are going to be a burgundy color at some point. But like the first candle, I wanted it to look like there's a little bit of wax dripping down, so using some of the same techniques I learned from the same project, I just squeezed the puffy paint upward at different lengths for the wax. I then went in with a paintbrush to smooth everything out and make it look a little bit more natural. Here you can see I changed that top and bottom part to a burgundy color, and I like that a lot better, even though it did take several coats of paint to cover it up. I made a flame just like the first one, but I'm not making it double-sided because you're really not supposed to see this from the back. But just to make sure it's nice and secure, I just covered it up with a tiny piece of orange, and it also hid any of the glue sticking out the back. Like I mentioned earlier, I really like the back to be neat in case it flips around, and also just, looks like you're really trying to do nice craftsmanship. So to cover up this glob of glue, I hid it with a white piece of felt. Now it's time for all the decorating. I'm using some thinner pieces of greenery, and I'm going to be decorating the top and a little bit of the bottom of this lantern. Just trying to make it look nice and vintage with my decorations. They're really pretty simple. It was at this point I realized I wanted this top part to be a bit thicker, so I took another piece of greenery and just twisted them together to make more of a crisscross looking bow. After I get everything the right size and shape, I hot glue everything into place. As I was looking at the top part, I realized I wanted some decoration on the bottom. I just didn't know what, so I opted just for some more greenery similar to the top. I put some regular pine needles at the bottom with the same kind of flocked, sparkly, flat greenery, and to tie in some red and burgundy because the bow has red but the wood is burgundy. I did one burgundy berry with two little red ones in a cluster at the bottom, glued a string to the back, or a little ribbon to the back I should say, and this is the finished ornament. Again, turned out so much better than I thought. I mean, like I said, it kind of looked like a Frankenstein ornament with all the clothespins sticking out of it. But once you get it all off and get it decorated, it looks really, really pretty. Tell me in the comments down below which ornament is your favorite. I think it might be a tie for me, but I'm definitely making more of the clothespin ornaments. I already have lots of those in works in progress. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.